Well, when you have a regimented culture that has an official right way and wrong way of doing things, and whether that comes from the church or after the separation of church and state, which separates body and spirit in doing so, and you have the secular laws and then the religious laws, but you still have lots and lots and lots of laws. And when you give people psychotropism, right, a psychotropic effect, they may turn their perspective away from Christianity towards Buddhism. Okay, they may turn their perspective away from Allah and look to, spirit guides. And the people that are in control or wanting to be in control of societies, um, those things tend to put people outside of control. People call it out of control. Why is that a bad word? Dude, you're out of control. Dude, you're out of control. Okay. And, the weather is out of control. It's great today. I expected it to be cold and rainy, according to the weatherman, and it's sunny and it's kind of warm. It's out of control. I can't control the weather, or at least I don't think I control the weather. And so there are a lot of these things. Bob Marley is this kind of famous quote associated with cannabis that basically paraphrased that the herb will teach you about yourself. And I think that cannabis is teaching the world about itself, individuals about themselves, different cultures, science is a culture, medicine is a culture, about themselves, about ourselves. And because it allows us to show that, well, this isn't just one way. And the fact that we're all trying to do it this way, why is everybody writing with their right hand when, 20% or some percentage of the population is left-handed? Well, because, the left hand is the devil's hand. And so when you go to school, if you're left-handed, you have to write with your right hand, because otherwise you'll be writing on behalf of the devil. Well, yeah, that's like 17th century spookiness, but it still affects people today. And all scissors are right-handed and everything is right-handed. And even, the Latin term for the left, is sinister. Wow, when I found that out, because you learn so much Latin in medical school, because it's like, you have Dexter and Sinister, even though Dexter on TV was a murderer, a mass murderer. But in Latin, Dexter is the right, ambidextrous, dexterity, all those things come from Dexter, and Sinister is the left. Wow, that's hardcore. That's you need to add LGBTQ. The L maybe needs to stand for lefties, because that's a marginalized group. And so anyway, there's a lot of these things in there that can start to unfold, like peeling away the layers of an onion, to see what it is that we've been doing to ourselves, starting the day with nicotine, caffeine, and sugar, and then keeping on a time clock and using artificial lighting to stay up past sundown and all of these things, and then laughing at people that live in the forest and run around naked and fall asleep, when it gets dark. And so we have this opportunity to see things differently, to induce a psychotropic effect on our perspectives on life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, on our perspectives of government, of what it means to be a man or a woman, or to have a career, or to be a success, or to be happy, and all of these things that are now a little bit loosened from the grip of the institutions, of educational institutions, government institutions, religious institutions, that would otherwise have told us this is right and this is wrong. And so it creates a lot of chaos. And that takes us back to, these guys in the quantum physics era, and uncertainty, chaos theory, beyond that, and all of that, and to just realize it's not a clockwork universe, it's a crazy place. And we're the crazy people living there. And psychotropics don't make you crazier, they just show your diversity, your inner diversity. There's a part of you that's coming out that maybe otherwise hadn't been seen, or is kept under wraps. And maybe some people would prefer to keep it under wraps. Maybe they don't want to hear you do that, that solo on the, what is the, oh gosh, it slipped my mind. It shows how long it's been since I've been to a bar, when the people do the karaoke, right? They call it,
Yeah.
and And it's like, dude, you got to hear me sing Stairway to Heaven, man. You know, it's like, no, we don't want to. You sang that last week. You always do this when you have hash, you know. But that's part of that experience. You get to know the other side of a person. Um, but it may not be what normal people want to see. And just the whole idea that normal is better than abnormal. I'm definitely abnormal. And now I exposed it for about an hour. Um, I'm decidedly abnormal and been abnormal all my life, you know. And so that's I'm not really trying to be normal. I'm not trying to be neurotypical. I'm much more aspy than I am normal. And, you know, my IQ is exceedingly abnormal. And so my view on the world is exceedingly abnormal. And, you know, other factors that people might try to consider, you know, like, oh, being African American, it's abnormal just to be an American, just to live in a world where you can go 3,000 miles and everybody speaks the same language, or at least ostensibly the same language, English in various forms, you know, that you can go 3,000 miles and be in the same country. There's not very many places that you can do that. And that there's clean water, ostensibly, everywhere that you go. And there's these paved roads, and there are these cities, and there's Wi-Fi. You know, as soon as you leave places like Western Europe and North America, and you go other places, the world's different. You know, and a paved road, like I told you, time that I spent in places like the Congo and Tanzania and Colombian Amazon, you know, they have cities as well. But most of the country is not like a city. And, you know, to be in some place where you can drive 3,000 miles and it's still just city after city after city, and every 10 to 15 minutes you pass a Starbucks, a McDonald's, you know, a grocery store, and a shopping mall or a Walmart or something like that. You know, it's psychotropic to just go to the rainforest and be someplace where there are no right angles. You know, there are no light switches, and, you know, there's no flat walls. Nothing's painted all white or all brown or anything. You know, it's just there. It's just the whole sensory experience of being in the rainforest itself is psychotropic. And you know, people that want to do mushrooms and all those things in places like New York or London, yeah, that's fine. But really, if you want to take the first real step, go to the rainforest, hang out for a week without doing any drugs at all, and then, you know, see where your psychotropic experience of just being away from a city has taken your mind. And then, you know, from there, whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. But definitely avail yourself of that experience of exploring another world. You don't need to go to Mars. You know, Elon Musk needs to develop a ship that takes people from LA, New York, London, and Paris and Tokyo to the Amazon, but without destroying the Amazon in the process. And, you know, there's amazing places to discover in the earth and within ourselves and within our own minds that people aren't going after. They're trying to go off into space and be William Shatner.